Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Christian Nicht, and I have the great pleasure to introduce the next session, which is presented by BAT and Zanders jointly. Topic of today's presentation is cash forecasting with SAP S/4HANA and a sidecar approach. And we are very happy to have two ladies presenting together here today, which is Diana Macarascu from BAT, joining us from Bucharest, with having more than 20 years of experience in various finance roles. And she is since 8 years with BAT, leading treasury operations out of Bucharest. And she is supported by Alina Tincu, consultant from Zanders with more than 5 years of experience in various consulting projects along SAP S/4HANA, cash forecasting, in-house cash, payment factory, and stuff like that. So I'm really excited that we finally made it. So the floor is yours. Alina, over to you.
Thank you very much, Christian. Sorry, I apologize to everyone for the delay. We had some small technical problems. Welcome and thank you for joining us in our session today. I will try also to share my screen. Please let me know. Try to share my screen and my presentation.
Yeah, that looks good.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So my name is Alina Tincu. I'm from Zanders. I work for Zanders for over 4 years. In all this time, I've been involved in several SAP and non-SAP projects in different areas of treasury. But my focus was always on cash management. Today, together with Diana Macarascu, Head of Global Treasury Operations at BAT, we will present to you our journey in optimizing short-term cash forecasting in using Cash Flow Analyser in a sidecar solution in S/4HANA 1809 Service Pack 2. Here is our agenda for today. So we will start with a short introduction of BAT and Zanders. We will walk you through our collaboration, a short walkthrough of our collaboration during the year. Diana will present to you the old cash management process. I will present to you the solution, the challenges we had, the lessons learned, and I will give back the floor to Diana, who will present to you the new process. So, Diana.
Yes, hello everyone, and again, thank you very much for being patient and waiting for us. My name is Diana Macarascu. I am, as Christian said, and by the way, thank you for Christian as well for your assistance with the technical issues. As he was mentioning, I have around 20 years in the finance experience in the finance areas in various companies. And for 8 years now, I'm with BAT, and I have been with BAT throughout the journey of implementing SAP. So right from the start, we were able to collaborate closely and have SAP being implemented for the whole of the company. And now we are talking about the next steps within Treasury. And therefore, we are looking to see what is out there so that we can bring Treasury even further into the new technical environment, which is developed day to day. Alina, may I then start discussing or introducing our attendees to a little bit of the BAT history?
Of course.
Okay. Then, if we are moving into the next slide, I want you guys to have a brief overview of what BAT means. And I know there is a lot of data out there on the slide, and of course it is for everyone's to view now or even after our meeting. But what it is important to highlight here is that we are in this, as a company, we have been founded in 1902. So we have more than 100 experience in the field. And if anyone is looking closely through the journey that BAT has gone through from the initial point of view in 1902 up to now, you will see that we are a very diverse company that has been formed through various stages, various mergers and acquisition. And by doing that, we have enlarged our company, our footprint in the world, but not necessarily only within the world. Now, taking you through through how the company was formed, and during the other stages of the presentation, you will see why this is important. This slide here wanted to represent to everyone an overview of why we might have various difficult stages in implementing one single solution for BAT. As I was explaining, BAT has been actually formed through a series of mergers and acquisition. And as anyone can actually expect, those mergers and acquisition have come with various other solutions which have been already deployed in the various companies with whom we have merged. Now, if we are going to the next slide, you will see that our footprint, the BAT footprint in the world is pretty large. Basically, we are present in all the regions, and bearing in mind the fact that how the company has been formed, you will see that several challenges that we are facing today with our implementations are actually coming from the fact that being a large company means equally that we have multiple systems to work with, multiple cultures to work with, and why not, if you wish, various maturities throughout the group of the entities that we are handling. Alina, if you can go to the next slide, please. The next slide would actually represent our not only not necessarily BAT, but it represents actually how we as a treasury function are actually formed within the company. So our status, if you wish, in terms of actually who we are now a centralized function with a high degree of specialism in the treasury area, and we are handling within our portfolio from risk to funding, cash, banking interface, insurance, so on. In 2020, when I actually joined BAT, I have joined BAT in an era where we were deploying SAP as one single ERP instance for BAT. And since then, it was a journey, an interesting journey, a challenging journey, but nevertheless a very rewarding one. Our team, as you see on the slide, is actually formed. We are not a very large team. Maybe around the function, we are 60 to 65 people within the central treasury function. And you see that our areas of expertise are going from cash and banking infrastructure, enterprise risk management, business partnering with our colleagues in the end market. But our core product would be around funding and financial risk, treasury operations, and of course we have as well group insurance. And in terms of how we are structured, you can easily see that we all report to the group treasurer, and then every one of the head of the function, equally myself, which I'm handling actually the global treasury operations, are responsible for particular areas within treasury. Alina, if you wish to go to the next slide, please. as I was saying, our role within the company is actually to move forward as a group the BAT structure to the next level. We have now a centralized structure, and because we have formed ourselves in this manner, we have brought to the group a high degree of expertise around the treasury areas. Our expertise is linked to funding, cash management, enterprise risk management, global business partnering, treasury operations, insurance, and reporting and governance, which is basically our middle office structure from the treasury function. Why I was highlighting you this area, because you would see that individually, while each and everyone is responsible for its own area, the areas that you actually see listed as well within the slide are interconnected, and we are working closely, or the entire team is working closely to deliver to the group the results which are coming from the high degree of specialism within each area that we are handling. Alina, if you go to the next slide, please. To give you a little bit of, to give the attendees actually a little bit more flavor into why we have, why made us look into the next stages of what SAP has developed. I wanted to take you through how we are actually formed. If earlier I was presenting you what is Central Treasury all about, I will do a little bit of deep dive now into the operations area, the area that I am actually responsible of. Of course, my area is also split, if you wish, in two main streams. One stream would refer to core treasury activities. And if we are looking at the core treasury activities, or which we consider as being our core treasury activities, as maybe an end-to-end solution to BAT in terms of treasury operations, we are starting our activity with cash management and FX risk management. And of course, through that activity, we are actually performing cash management for all the entities around the group, centralized from Bucharest. This is where actually I am located. And within my team, I have a small part of my team is actually handling the end markets, so the business units, short-term cash flow forecast. They do daily cash positioning. They are taking the view of what has actually happened on the actuals coming from the midterm cash flow forecast. We are taking care of the operational and dividend hedging for the entire group. We are looking at the FX risk, FX regional and global risks. And as well, we are performing on behalf of the group the analysis for the center's liquidity. Like many of our like many of the companies nowadays, as you can easily imagine, we have put in place cash pooling structure with a group whenever wherever legislation permitted. Hence, all the cash which is available actually at the end market level, it's pooled at the center. Now, as you can imagine, and looking back through the slides where I have shown you the regions that we are covering, you can imagine that positioning daily the cash around the group, plus positioning the liquidity for the group in a consolidated manner is not an easy feature. But leaving this aside, as I was telling you, we are also delivering towards our customers, which are actually our colleagues from the market, an end-to-end treasury operation, treasury process. If On the first bit, I was presenting you the cash management. Of course, as you can easily imagine, the next step after analyzing the cash would be our management of the financial risk and also of the dealing room. This is the second part of the global treasury operation, and also it is the next step after the cash management. On the dealing room side, we are managing a multi-currency notional pool. We are positioning daily at the group level from an FX perspective all the cash available at the group. We are funding in the commercial paper markets and also discussing with our business partners from the bank with regards to the facilities. Equally, we are investing any surplus of cash, and in a nutshell, if you wish, we are increasing the efficiency of the cash around the group. The next in line, which is still listed as our core treasury activity, would be cash and banking. Under cash and banking, we are taking care of the bank account management. We are putting forward, reviewing, delivering towards the group the cash and banking strategy, and we are equally taking care of the bank relationship. Now, Alina, if we go to the next slide, please. You will see what are the activities which actually we do not consider as being our core activities, but nevertheless, those activities are equally important for us because, as I was stating, we want to deliver our aim as a treasury operation is to deliver an end-to-end process, seamless process towards our colleagues from the end market and towards the group. And if we are now considering the fact that we have analyzed the cash position at the level of the business units, at the level of the group, and then we have traded off everything that was coming at the back of the analysis through the dealing room, the next process in line would be our settlements process. Well, as you can imagine, around the settlements process, so my team is taking care of two main aspects. One is the confirmation of all the financial instruments that are traded around the group. And equally important is that they take care of all the treasury payments that are done around the group. What I would also again emphasize is that, as you have seen, because BAT is present in so many countries, you can imagine the volume that we are talking about. Now it's pointless to list here the volume, but you've seen that our footprint is actually it entails the entire globe. Hence, well, you can imagine that we trade. Maybe I will share with you some insights. We do trade around maybe I think 4,000 FX a month. And therefore, you can, and that's only on the FX side. Therefore, you can imagine the multitude of the activity which the team is performing on the day-to-day basis. Also, going back to the fact that we are dealing with an end-to-end process, we have two more departments within our team, which are handling the treasury accounting, which of course will account for any financial instruments that any BAT entity is entering around the group. They are also taking care of statutory reporting for the central treasury vehicle in BAT. They are also mastering any changes around the IFRS because our foremost desire is to actually account correctly for all the financial instruments that we are using, and whenever needed, they are acting as a center of excellence for all the treasury activities. Last but not least, we do have a treasury control team, which is, if you wish, an internal control team, but not in a control, but by control not saying that they are actually performing audits on Treasury, but they are acting as a business partners within the Treasury function and help us assess all our processes, all the gaps that we might have around the processes, because first and foremost, while delivering all these activities towards the group, we need to do it in a controlled manner. As you can imagine, of course, dealing with the multitude of the end markets, plus dealing with cash for the center, our control needs are and will remain, must remain strong. On the Treasury control side, we are also taking care of overviewing our Treasury policies for us to be in compliance with the Treasury policies. We are reviewing on an ad hoc basis, but not less than once a year, all our internal control. They are supporting us as an overview with any incidents that are raised within the Treasury space, so that they are implemented in a controlled manner without breaking anything that is any activity which is done upstream actually. And of course, they are also overviewing all the regulation requirements to which we need to comply. Alina, that would be it from my side with regards to BAT. So now if you can take over and discuss a little bit about Zanders.
Thank you, Diana. I will shortly introduce you Zanders. We are a treasury consulting company. We have over 200 consultants. We have offices in 7 countries. Our headquarters is in Netherlands, but we have offices in the UK, in Belgium, in Switzerland, in the US, in Sweden, and Japan. We have over 500 clients and many projects. A lot of them are SAP, a lot of them are non-SAP, some are treasury, others are risk, and also finance type of projects. With BAT, we have a long collaboration. We started our relationship in early 2000s. And I'm not going to go through all the projects you see here. I just wanted to mention that we work together in multiple projects towards the years. And I would like to mention the TAO project, which was a treasury transformation project, which lasted for many years, and teams from Zanders and BAT worked together in this project. Also the Porobo project in 2015-2016. And recently, one of the projects I was involved into was this BAT migration project, where we changed the in-house cash center from one treasury entity to another treasury entity. And also last year was the year when we started our S/4HANA cash management project. And this is the topic of today's session. I will hand over to Diana to explain a bit the old process, and I will pick up talking about the solution challenges and the lessons learned. Diana?
Yes, thank you very much, Alina. Now, if you look on the slide that Alina is presenting you right now, our project is actually the current project that we are running is actually dealing or is going to support us further within the treasury strategy around the process which is at the very start point of whatever we are doing in treasury, and that's the cash management and FX risk management side. Now, as I was telling you, my team is actually handling the cash positioning for all the almost actually all the entities around the group and including at the center. We have indeed implemented TAO as a single ERP instance started back into 2012, because the migration had various steps, and it took some time to have all the end markets, all our business units onboarded and live into TAO. However, as you can imagine, because of the multitude of the end markets and the fact that, well, TAO is an ERP which works beautifully for us because it is a large solution which allows us to have so much visibility of what is happening around the group in various places, AR, AP, and now we have it all in one single unit. I would say that actually TAO was a prerequisite of us forming the treasury operations in Bucharest. Now, the location doesn't really matter. What it matters actually is the fact that we were able to centralize this function in one location. Of course, we have first and foremost, we considered, after looking at our efficiency around treasury, we considered implementing one solution, and that was SAP. But since then, we have finished TAO implementation or SAP implementation in all our business units. And we start considering what it is next. Of course, what it comes next is actually to tackle a few challenges that we are having around the cash management process, as it was before we actually started looking at S4HANA. How was the activity before looking at S4HANA? So basically, the team was having, and we were having that since we have implemented SAP. We have developed Excel templates in which the team is collecting data from SAP and non-SAP, because some of the data are readily available in SAP, like AP, AR, I don't know, taxes, for example, but there are also some data, some unforeseen sensitivities that we need to take into account. Payroll data that doesn't come into SAP. I mean, comes into SAP, of course, but a little bit too late compared to when we would have liked to see that. And everything, it's compiled manually in Excel. Of course, the Excel, because I was telling you that we are positioning the cash daily at the level of each business unit, how many entities we have and we are taking care of in the short-term cash flow forecast part, this is how many Excels we have. Now, those Excels to manage the cash for that particular business unit might suffice. But as you can imagine, and as I was telling you, because we are such a large company, which is actually looking always to increase the efficiency around the cash, we have implemented that cash pooling at the center. Hence, all the forecasts that we are doing on a daily basis for the business units, it on the group, and this is where the challenge lies. Of course, having so many Excels, bringing everything together is always a challenge. But as an end-to-end process, after we have prepared the Excel for each business unit, then we need to consolidate that Excel into one single file. We are uploading the result of the analysis into a third-party system. And then out of it, because down the stream, my colleagues from the dealing room will need to position that cash, they would extract again manually the CVS from that third-party system. They will look at it from a consolidated perspective, and they will take on managing the cash or investing the surplus of cash as and when required. And further on down the stream, if any cash movements are required in between several accounts of the same entity, we need to instruct the cash management. As you see, our process currently, or not currently, but our process was very, very manual. It consisted with an Excel solution. We have 200 plus business units to manage. Of course, each business unit has its own operating module. Those business units are different in terms of business. We are only a small team, which is currently, or was currently, focused more on the updates of Excel. And while we did have the data in SAP, because there was no integration in between our Excel and SAP, the data was extracted manually. And this is where our challenges have actually these actually lie, and therefore we have considered what is the next step in our treasury strategy, and it was to look at an end-to-end, if you wish, solution of cash management for the end markets and for the business, for the group, as a one single solution. And now I'll pass on back to Alina, because she will present to you the implementation that we are currently going through.
Thank you, Diana. So in phase 1 of the project, which started at the end of last year, so in September last year, we tried to implement a solution designed to replace the Excel spreadsheets used by the cash management team, as well as by the dealers in their day-to-day activities. So the main source of data remained SAP ECC. Transactional data representing AP, AR activities, treasury deals, and bank statements will remain in SAP ECC. All this data will be transferred to S4HANA via iDocs, CM send, and CM request type of iDocs. For that, we had to build an interface. A program triggered by transaction code FF$4 is running hourly and is triggering this iDocs and picking up data from FDSB and FDSR table from SAP ECC and transferring the data into one exposure. We realized during the project that data in the report was not allocated per bank accounts. Therefore, we created an enrichment program which allocates all the transactional data to GL accounts and bank accounts. And in this way, the end users can display data in their report per bank accounts. So this program is also scheduled on an hourly basis and is running right after the FF$4 program is finished. We also have memo records, which are created manually for the transactions which are not available in SAP ECC. So for dividend, for tax payments, for payroll activities, for different type of corrections and other type of data, which is not available in SAP ECC, we are using memo records inputted manually or loaded via a semi-automatic way, loaded from an Excel file. We also needed the FX rates available in the system. So FX rates were already available in SAP ECC. From the FX rate platform, there was an interface created, and FX rates, FX rate type M, as well as FX rates type L, were available in SAP ECC. What we had to do is to replicate the same FX rates also in S4HANA, because the Fiori apps we deployed in the system were using these FX rates. So it was a quite simple solution we put in place in order to bring all the data available in FDSB and FDSR tables in SAP ECC, to bring it and make it available in the sidecar in S4HANA. I mentioned Fiori apps, and we deployed several Fiori apps. Of course, the Cash Flow Analyser one is the most important app, which will be used by all the users in order to generate their daily reports. Also, Cash Flow Analyser is the app which they will further use to analyze the details of their transactions. The Manage Memo Records and Load Memo Records from File app are used by the user to create memo records, so the placeholders in the reports for all those transactions which are not available in S4HANA, in SAP ECC. The Cash Flow Comparison is the app which they are using for variance analysis, forecast versus actual. The Graph app we had deployed was the Cash Position app. And this displays the daily cash flows for today. But there was a requirement from the business to have the cash, the daily, so the flows displayed for the past 30 to 90 days. So we created a bespoke app, which is delivering that information to them. So we deployed, yeah, I'm not sure if it's a relatively big or small number of apps, but diverse cash management apps, which can be useful to both the dealers and in-market cash managers in order to provide, to build their cash position. Of course, we had different challenges in this project. And one of them is still in progress. So one of the business requirements was to be able to drill down in cash management reporting as for HANA. Because we are in a sidecar, the granularity level is not the highest. So they can see data as it is displayed in the FGSB and DSR table. But this is in progress because in later phases of the project, the users will have more data available in their reports. Of course, one of the challenges we faced, I mentioned earlier, so that was that the flows were not assigned to a bank account. The business requirement was to have each flow assigned to a bank account. And for that, we built an enrichment program that is allocating each transaction to a bank account. Of course, here we also face challenges with regards to customer data. And this is something which we will again approach in future phases of the project. But all the other transactions coming from all the other sources, it is allocated to a bank account in the report. We faced some challenges regarding the volume of data we were trying to transfer from SAP ECC to S4HANA. For that, we had to ask the help from our SAP colleagues who provided us a solution. So they advised us to do a cleanup of data coming from old company codes, which have been closed, but the data was not removed from the relevant tables, as well as summarizing data, old data from the tables. In this way, we managed to reduce the volume of data which we triggered from SAP ECC to S4HANA, and our interface started running successfully. Of course, another challenge we faced was related to the layouts and to the filters we applied for different type of reports in Cash Flow Analyser. And we had a challenge because the system did not allow us to apply multiple filters. This issue had a very quick fix. And again, together with the colleagues from SAP, we managed to identify the appropriate OSS nodes to apply. And in this way, we managed to create and apply different layouts, including multiple parameters. This means that we included multiple currencies, multiple company codes, multiple planning levels, and so on in the layouts of our reports. These are just a few of the challenges I wanted to mention, but we did not have only challenges. We also had a lot to learn in this project. We were a bigger team in the project. We had colleagues from BAT supporting us in the project. We had Zanders team involved, as well as other consulting company doing the integration work, basis work, security work, and so on. And we realized that we had to work together as a team. We had to collaborate in order to achieve a successful go live. Of course, we worked under unusual circumstances. All of us were working from home. We were on different time zones. We had very early meetings for some, very late meetings for others. But it was a good lesson for us, and we learned how to be patient. We learned how to be empathic with each other, to understand what's happening in with each other, and to work towards the same goal. We realized that this was as much an interface project as a cash management one. So most of the challenges we had were related to the interface we created, but of course here we had a good team in place, and we managed to achieve a successful working interface, but not after overcoming all the challenges. And of course, one of the last things I would like to mention is that for all of us, especially for the end users, it takes time to embrace a new solution. It takes time to adapt to the change. It takes time to trust the solution. But this can be achieved only by working together, by collaborating, and by being in the same team. And in our case at BAT, we had an amazing collaboration also with all the teams involved, but especially with the end users, with the dealers and the cash managers who understood all the challenges we were facing, but also knew how to express their requirements and knew how to advise us on what they would like to achieve. I will let Diana explaining to you how are they using the system now and what are the next steps. Diana?
Yes, thank you very much, Alina. And I wanted to mention something which is equally important around the lesson learned. Now, if one is using, of course, one can say that Excels are very easy to manage, and it is too, to some degree. Excel is very flexible. It gives us the opportunity to change back and forth the numbers as we require them. It has the ability to make the user very powerful in terms of putting the numbers into whatever cells she needs. But unfortunately, it's not a very traceable solution. One of the lessons learned into the project was not only related to how to run the project or what does it mean to work together, or not even what are the challenges that we need to overcome. A very good lesson, at least for me, was the fact that through the project, we were able to challenge ourselves, challenge our status quo, and understand exactly putting forward or putting on the table the requirement as we had them for the project. What's the reason to challenge them, to ask them? Since we have been using the same template for so long now, it was embedded in our day-to-day work. Was it the most efficient way? Probably not. Is it required to run our activity on a day-to-day basis, all the information that we have captured in Excel? Probably not. And through the project, or the project in itself, gave us the opportunity to reassess our work and understand what is data that we need to run, what is the comfort that we are getting from the data, and what we can do better next time. And in terms of the next steps, as Alina was saying, I will go back to the fact that our intention is to run an end-to-end process. Now, of course, the end-to-end process can be run in so many ways. But we are not only interested in running it, we want to run it in the most efficient way. And when we have looked at the solutions that are out there on the table for cash management, I can honestly tell you that I have seen so many good solutions put forward on the table. You just need to pick one which is which will give you the most efficient way to work within your own company. For us, it was S4HANA because, as Alina was mentioning, this is where our colleagues from finance will implement as well their activity, and us in BAT, we would like as much as possible to work with one single solution. But even if I'm looking internally in Treasury, my aim at the end of the project, which entails multiple steps. So far, we have surpassed only the first step. It was a successful one, but nevertheless the first step. My end game is actually to have an automated cash management solution end-to-end, which goes from collecting in an automated way the data from SAP, compiling everything into one single platform, platform on which all the users can have a look at any point in time to see exactly what has happened within a certain day, but also to see what will happen in the future, to be able to review and make the best decision onto the data that we are analyzing of, and also using the same platform to be able to trade and to be able to move the cash from one account to another for daily cash management purposes. Now, if I'm envisioning the function several years down the road, what I would say is actually, and hopefully after the implementation, what I will see is that instead of us focusing on, instead of my team focusing on putting together the Excel, they will be focusing in analyzing the data, reviewing the accuracy of the data, and making better decisions, more informed decisions in terms of how to trade and when to trade. Also, using one platform as an end-to-end solution for Treasury would give us the opportunity to improve on our controls, to improve on the overview of the historical data, and also, why not, to be able to challenge certain decisions that were taken at a point in time after reviewing, based on the forecast and after reviewing what has happened for the actuals. As I was telling you, of course, this can be done in Excel, but it is not the most efficient way. Hence, this is the reason this is the reason why BAT was looking at the cash management solution, and why we have decided to have it implemented. I know that we have kept you for a very long time, and again, I do apologize for the delay in us opening the session. I do hope that you will find it useful, and that would be all from my side. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Alina, for this great and insightful presentation. I think we are a little bit over time. So, Richard, what is your recommendation in terms of handling possible questions? So should we do that?
I see that Carlos asked a very interesting question. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure when this session will end. It might just automatically cut, Christian.
Yeah.
But for now, we might as well try and continue.
Okay, so I can't see any questions so far here, at least in my chat. So I would need your help, Richard, to get through that. I don't know why it is not popping up. So for me, it's clean.
Maybe it's something that we need to talk about.
I saw the recommendation that people can also ask questions, of course, to the Zanders team, which is now in the virtual meeting room, available to answer additional questions. So that is something that popped in here.
Yeah, let's do this after the session then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you again to Alina and Diana.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Alina.
Wish you a
Thank
nice
you, Diana.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Same for you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.